Hey everyone. Hi Leo. Alright, welcome to the channel if you're new. If you're returning, hi, of course. Now, Leo, happy February. The eclipse isn't quite here. I hope that your moon, this is the end of February, or end of January. Time's been weird lately, sorry. I just heard not everything has a meaning. I mean, of course it does, but there's some times where we just have to let things slide, right? Not analyze everything so much, at least at this point in time. Okay. As for your moon, this energy could have a bit to do with that. But the intention is February. So let's see here. Let me tune in. I think the thing that's been bugging you internally is becoming more organized, okay? Sometimes you need a lot of something to be able to make something beautiful. Like, say you have a lot of something, but if it's just in a pile, then it just looks like a pile of whatever, right? You can't quite appreciate what's going on there because it's a pile, right? But if you take all the pieces and start to organize them, and I keep seeing this like lattice work, if you organize the pieces accordingly, because I sense there's also a lot of the same sized thing, then what happens is well, whatever's annoying about the pile, it's interesting, whatever's annoying about the pile isn't as annoying anymore. Your present self wants you to wear, like, oh, interesting. Well, for some of you, your present self wants you to be barefoot more often, if you can. And also to wear like looser clothes. I feel like that lightens your mind a little bit. Something about this. You'll start to notice when if you pay a lot of attention to what you're doing with your hands, when you grab things with your left hand, I heard that's your pincer hand, which your pincer hand is the one that has power, but that means that the other hand does the detail, right? So there's I guess you'll be able to tell something about where your power is, where your strengths are, and they're through your left side, okay? And there's delicacy in your right. something may be halted in the future. Or there will at least be a need to be very aware of, I heard what's a good idea and what's not. Okay. And I sense right now you really want the truth of a matter on something. You want something to like, you want something to be fair. You want something to be just, right? You want something to be practical. I do sense at this present point you could have your hands full, okay, in February. For some of you, you really have your hands full at work. Not that that's necessarily overwhelming, but that may be something in the future that you have to attend to. Like, maybe between now and then, you need to really sort out your schedule. And maybe that's what the pile is about too. Is like a pile of to-do. I mean, obviously, you've probably already applied this, but something about this. Again, things will become less annoying. You won't get stuck in the thicker bushes. Okay? You have Uranus in, well, Leo rising has Uranus in the 10th house. I specifically remember the Uranus tarot reading that I did for it, which obviously is intuitive and not necessarily astrological, right? But the point is that I remember specifically it said that you were protected in your career. Not to say that there wouldn't be surprises, but that you're protected there. So, I want you to know, I guess from now until the future, things will be steady in ways of money. The more you have things, like for some of you, maybe perhaps you have to do something, it's becoming, getting closer to tax time, whatever. Maybe there's something that needs to be finalized here in ways of certain contracts with people, places, and things that they need to be attended to. But only, I sense that you specifically are taking some of the action to be able to balance things out. Maybe you want other people to balance out whatever they're dealing with financially or otherwise, but you can't do that. They have to figure it out for themselves, right? And I heard everyone's fighting their own demon. So I love you, Leo. I have a lot of and have had a lot of dear Leo people in my life. Obviously, all people have Leo in their charts. Also, people are great. But I know that you like to be special, and so I just want to let you know that. But also, in a way, I know that you don't give a shit whether you think anyone thinks you're special or not. It happens. But the point is before I started blathering on intellectualizing what it is here, what I heard is you get a pretty tough shell, particularly when it comes to you expressing your feelings, because the thing is the inner child has the Ten of Swords, okay? You have to like there's no way to stop the train, right? Any of you have ever hopped freight trains before or seen a train go by? You know, no one's stopping that thing. It's going. You know, even if it's only going 40, it's still, no one's stopping it. And you're on the train. You know, we're all in a way on the train. So while we're all in this together, I want you to know that no one is going to judge you if you ever express the pain that's in your heart about whatever it is that has hurt your feelings. I tell people this all the time. It's not necessarily a big boo-hoo fest. I mean, you need to cry, whatever. You know? I shed a tear I shed a bunch of tears actually the other day reading a bunch, maybe 4 or 5, but they were beautiful, reading Rumi. You know, like, but the point is that, because I think your ego wants you to always be in this position of not really, you express yourself just fine and great when things are golden. And it's not necessarily about when you're mad. No, actually, you have a hard time when you're mad too. That's interesting. I just thought about that. I guess you want to ask yourself, maybe you do like I love these little exercises that come in these readings. I wonder if people actually achieve, I know a couple people have done them, but there's something about checking in with yourself and, you know, maybe a scale on 1 to 10, you know, 1 being pretty easy and 10 being pretty challenging. Like, go through the emotions and, you know, what is it for you? Like, how easy is it for you to express, like, when you have 10 of swords kind of energy, you know? When you feel like someone did you dirty, or just like when your heart is hurting. You know, for some of you, it could even be that, because not all Leos necessarily, even though you're ruled by the heart, I mean, it's a generalization here. There's thousands of people, but like, you know, even the aspect of Leo sometimes can be a bit restricted in a sense, you know? But the cool thing is I sense that there are people, you're doing a good job, but there are also people that are helping you to, I mean, you also have Saturn in the 6th house, right? Which is about you caring about your health. The 6th house is Virgo, which also rules the mind. You know, they're ruled by Mercury. So like, it's the health of the self, but it's mental health. You know, it's emotional health. It's physical health. It's spiritual health, right? Spiritual health. All these things are really important, and your daily routines, your daily habits are, I heard, I just heard so many E words. That was interesting. It was all the words were very long too, like 8, 10 letters. But the point is, you know, if the subconscious mind is blocked, right? I guess this also shows that your inner child knows how to rearrange pain so that it looks beautiful. But it doesn't mean that it's gone away. It means that it built a wall. A beautiful wall, yes, but a wall all the same. And then I heard that, is it in The Little Mermaid? It's like, down by the sea. I don't know. I can't remember the rest of the lyrics, but there's something about being down by the sea. Yes, down by the sea. Sorry, there's a story here, but it's your strength right now is correction. Okay? Like adjustment. There is significant adjustment right now. And I like that your strength at this moment, for those of you who have found this, are that you're willing to look at whatever the blockages are. Like whatever the pain is. Again, like inner child, building a pretty wall. Now, because the thing is once you assess that, and you realize that again and organize it, because I almost feel like in a way some of you you're well, I saw like a baby in a playpen, but it was like a playpen built out of these swords that was all around it that the kid actually built themselves. I mean, it's very creative. It's very creative in dealing with what it is that you have. But I also sense that the cool thing is the bottom of the deck, we go from the 10 to the 1. Okay? You can tell that there's a lot more space here. There's a lot more freedom in this card. No one's carrying around dead skulls anymore. Lightening the load a bit. That's a lot to carry around. And I sense those who are here and understand this. And someone else got this. Oh, I think actually Libra got this also. And maybe there's a message in there for you, but where there was something about deducing things by half. And I actually see that your strength, if you take the time and have the integrity, right, and the honesty to correct something, right, to make an appropriate judgment call to what the fairest thing it is to do about the situation, then you go from a 10 to a 5. You deduce by 50%, which is good. And what is this? This is mental capacity. This is at maximum capacity. You don't have any space for anything else here, right? But the inner child wants to, create, right? Live. So, do so. And then I heard down by the sea again. It's cute. Down by the sea. Now, your future self is the world. I like that. That's a lucky card. They're looking up at the Justice card in your present position, your present self, and pointing up at your future self. I actually see, okay. I see by March your finances they may be like sort of, yeah, maybe then someone will, how do I want to explain it? I heard they may be steady from now until March. When March comes around, then I heard I heard someone wakes up, but there's also something about like your shadow may be tested between now and March also. I see. The ego also may be a bit of your dad. For some of you, your dad's a drinker, and that affects it too. For others of you, he was just not a very emotionally expressive person in a way. It's not that he didn't love you. I'm not saying that. But it's just, there's something about someone who was not as emotionally expressive. They were more intellectual, you know. Maybe for some of you, it's like an Aquarius, Pisces cusp or something. But even still, I guess why I brought that up is because you, at least Leo rising, you have Uranus again in the 10th house, which is the house of the 10th house is the house of the father. I mean, yes, it has to do with your career very much, and all sorts of other things, but it is the father, you know. You just cut the deck. Awesome. That's also what I was wondering about your future. Okay. I mean, obviously an earth sign could be very helpful and positive in what it is that you're trying to grow. I also see Taurus as your savings, so, and your self-value, which I actually see. Oh, look, and there's your inner child free. Good. And see, we have you here in the future, right? Shadows still, I mean, between now and then, the shadow's still being attended to, but then you have this white horse here with this happy inner child, naked babe, right? Free, positive. I do see yellow here also. It's the solar plex where the inner child lives. Good, good. For some of you, if you're a bit anxious, like you're having a lot of thoughts about where it is that you're supposed to go in the future also, and you know that you don't want your shadow or your ego, your hurt ego, right, or hurt heart to drive you somewhere, right? You want to feel really empowered. Not that you don't sometimes, because I know that you do, but I also sense that, well, there's a reason why you're here, right? There's something about you, inside of you, that you know you want to solve, right? There's a puzzle that needs to be resolved. There's a wound that needs to be healed, right? And have a kind of empowerment behind that journey and that accomplishment. And the cool thing is although it may be trying, right? It can be a lot of energy to do that and not be as organized as we want it to be. But the cool thing is you can, right? There's you, you know? Look at that. Wow. That's like the whole fam. And we have the Page of Wands, the Knight of Wands, and the Fool, which also has this awesome wand. You know? I guess try not to worry about where it is exactly that you're going. Be the most concerned with picking up that pile, organizing whatever that pile is, and then also talking to, I feel like, I don't know, I mean, I just keep seeing an inner child inside of a playpen that's made of swords. And then I saw a person like going over, like an adult going over and like picking up this kid. It's like a 2-year-old or something, or maybe like 1.5. They're like this big. I can't tell I don't have kids, but whatever. The point is that someone like picked it up and got it out of there, which is good, you know, but they're sharp. They're sharp. You know, maybe it's a protection mechanism. You know, it was made that way to ensure that something didn't get hurt. But what happened was it ended up restricting it from like the ability to be able to leave that space, because it would get hurt to get out of it, or to just be itself and explore, right? So there's just something about it. But again, you had the Ace of Swords on the bottom. You know, this is a kind of heavy spiritual journey, but this could also be with that eclipse. So, I actually see you chipping at it. See, you go from this one to this one. That's good. That's good. In sticks, you know. That isn't going to hurt you. All right. I love you so much. Sometimes I forget how, because I just I'm just here to have the messages come out, and I know sometimes they come out and it's pretty deep. It's kind of deep. But I guess whoever finds it needs to find it, right? So they can receive that, well, that magic wand to be able to do what they need to do for that tool, right? So that they can end whatever it is that's still blocked in there, you know. Because the cool thing is if we accept those kinds of things, even, or at the very least just acknowledge them for a moment in time, a lot of times that's all the human needs to be able to heal it. So that the next time that you're a human, you get to come back here, you know, or whatever you become, then that kind of energy is released, right? All right. Oh, there you are, right at the bottom. Awesome. These cards are so pretty. Anyway, Leo, I love you so much. I thank you again, anyone who's here, for the wonderful 2-year anniversary. It's pretty exciting. 365 times 2. Yeah, just everyone's been so supportive and gracious and kind and giving, and I really am happy to be of service, and I want you to know that you really inspire me, and thanks. And again, I mean, regardless of whether I knew them or not, but I have known a lot of Leos in my life, and they're really empowering folks, you know. So thanks. Love you. Peace.